Well, welcome to the Grove, everybody. Happy Sunday. We are so glad you're here. Early happy Thanksgiving to you as we enter Thanksgiving week here. Hope you're having an amazing week, an amazing fall, amazing November so far. We have been cruising through our Serve the World month the last several Sundays. November annually is our Serve the World month, and it's been packed full of really cool stuff. Our Jonah series has been just amazing, encouraging, challenging. And so we will be concluding that here today. Lots of special treats today. We have a special musical guest you might recognize. I'm not no spoilers on that. We also have our friends from Malawi who all attend GCU are here to lead us in a few Malawian songs, which we're so excited for that. Praise songs in Chichewa. So you'll learn some Chichewa today if you pay attention. So that'll be good. And then, of course, our big deal today is our missions offering that we are taking for the STEM school, ABC STEM High School in Malawi, the first of its kind in the country of Malawi. So we're very, very excited about that. This will be making change makers in the country for years and years to come through the different sciences that STEM teaches. Technology, Blessings was telling me, has traditionally lagged behind in Africa as a whole, Malawi also. And so this will really get them up to par with the rest of the world. So that'll be very exciting to see that in the years to come. So anything you can give towards our STEM school, the STEM school in ABC, we want to help them get to their goal and build that thing. So please help us pray on that, what that would be from your family to the STEM school project. So that's just one thing. Today is also Thanksgiving box distribution day. So if you took an empty box, bring it back today for us so we can deliver those to the families that get to partake in the Thanksgiving boxes. If you forgot about it and you want to still get a box, you can. You can still get a box. We will be accepting them pretty much until noon today, I think. So you can come, grab an empty box, go fill it real fast at Fry's, bring it back. We would love that. We still have some empty boxes here, which tells me we still have a need. So we would love it if you could do that. The other way you can get involved, if you stick around after service, the second service, we will be going down to the Live Love Oasis and then delivering those boxes to all those neighbors there in downtown Chandler that will be getting these awesome boxes for their Thanksgiving meal. So again, an amazing chance to serve the world, serve our local community here in Chandler. And so we're really excited for that. I hope you have really good plans for Thanksgiving. I hope you and your family truly have a lot to be thankful for this year. I know we do here. We're so thankful for you, for one thing, for being a part of our church, for tuning in, even when you can't be here. Some of you, you're our online audience. You watch us online every Sunday. We thank you for doing that. We appreciate you being here. We really, honestly, this is why we do it, so we can stay connected even when we're afar or we can't be here. And so our online community is means a lot to us. Something we've been building over the last 4 years, so it's really cool to see the numbers every week of people attending and listening and watching in on YouTube or Facebook. We thank you guys for doing that. All right, one other announcement to get to before we kick it inside. We have our big Christmas Art Fest coming up on December 13th. That's a Friday night, 4 to 8. We would love for you to come and just enjoy. There'll be vendors with crafts and arts that you can buy and purchase. If you are an artist and you want a spot, you can still sign up for that. We also will have food trucks. We'll have snow for the kids to play in, live music, just a magical environment, so to speak, for walking around and enjoying. Randizzle's food truck will be here, my favorite food truck in all the valley. The best burger in town, I think. Randy's an amazing dude, and he makes a mean burger, so come and check out Randizzle. And there will be other ones as well. So we have just the makings of a really special night. So hopefully you can come and be a part of that. Again, that's Friday, December 13th, 4 to 8. Invite a friend who's never been on our Grove campus. Invite an old friend who hasn't been here in a while. Invite all your relatives. Bring your kids to play in the snow. All of that. So that will be an amazing night here just in a couple of weeks. And then next Sunday kicks off our Christmas series leading up to Christmas Eve. So every year we try to pull out the stops on Christmas Eve specifically. I can tell you, it looks like we're going to have 5 services on Christmas Eve. We will announce those times probably on Sunday of next week. So please come and plan and join us on Christmas Eve. It's always special. Paul Gunther's always got something cooking, not literally, sometimes literally, but oftentimes he's building something that will be interactive in our service on Christmas Eve. We had a giant puzzle one year, different things that you put your name on or take home and things like that. So it should be really special. So that will get you ready for December. We're almost there. So enjoy, sit back, enjoy another morning of worship, sing along. There's a lot of moving and clapping today, so enjoy that. Thank you for joining us. Have an amazing Sunday.
worshiping this morning. It's going to be a good day. You guys ready to sing this morning? You ready to praise this morning? Praise in the valley and praise on the mountain. Praise when I'm sure and praise when I'm doubted. I'll praise when outnumbered and praise when surrounded. 'Cause praise is the waters my enemies drowning. As long as I'm breathing, I got a reason to praise the Lord, oh my soul. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. I praise when I feel it, and I praise when I don't. I praise 'cause I know you're still in control. My praise is a weapon. It's more than a sound. My praise is the shout that brings Jericho down. As long as I'm breathing, I've got a reason to praise the Lord, oh my soul. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. And I won't be quiet, my God is alive. How could I keep it inside? Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Sing praise. Come on. Praise 'cause you're sovereign, praise 'cause you reign, praise 'cause you rose and defeated the grave, praise 'cause you're faithful, praise 'cause you're true, praise 'cause there's nobody greater than you. Praise 'cause you're sovereign, praise 'cause you reign, praise 'cause you rose and defeated the grave, praise 'cause you're faithful, praise 'cause you're true, praise 'cause there's nobody greater than you. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Come on, shout it. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Sing praise the Lord, oh my soul. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. 'Cause I won't be quiet, my God is alive. How could I keep it inside? No, I won't be quiet, my God is alive. How could I keep it inside? No, I won't be quiet, my God is alive. How could I keep it inside? Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Sing praise, sing
Well, keep standing, keep standing. First of all, can we welcome Dre back? Dre decided to move back and help us lead worship full time, correct? We're Glad that you're here visiting. Hey, if you could, we still have some Thanksgiving boxes ready. If you want to take one of these home or run to the store real quick, we still have time to fill up. We have about 30 or 40 left. You have time as soon as this service is over. Run out, grab one, fill it up, bring it back to the big, giant buses outside, and then come back at 12 in this room. At 12 o'clock, come meet right here. We'll do a quick meeting, and then we go and distribute 700 boxes downtown and all throughout Chandler. So come, please be a part of this. This last week, I was with a team in Asheville, North Carolina, and it was absolutely mind-boggling. Still, all these weeks later, to see all the destruction. There was a house that had a tree still right through the middle of it. Right there, we were able to get the tree out of there, clean up, and rebuild that for them. There's also, if you look in your storyboard, a lady named Judy. She's 82 years old. Her daughter and her son-in-law got swept away during the flood, and she'd been sitting there with her house just covered with debris. So an amazing team. Thank you for how you continue to support our ongoing efforts to go out and serve and love on the world. We have giving boxes all around the room, and we tell people, as you just saw, we're a missional church. When people ask me, how do I know where the money goes? It goes to the projects around the world. It goes to right here in Chandler. It goes to change the lives of not only those here in Chandler in the East Valley, but all around the world. So if you call the Grove home, thank you for how you continue to give and to support. This Thursday, if you don't know this, is a time to gather, eat some food. 1 year I was a vegetarian, and so I went straight vegetarian this year. Last year I cooked my pizza in my turkey in my pizza oven. So turn to somebody and tell them how you're cooking your turkey, and if you are going to have turkey or ham.
Church. Today is a big day for us because today we are taking once a year we take on a missions project, around the world. This year, our missions project for the Grove this year is to help build this STEM school in Malawi. And so I want to introduce and reintroduce you to two guests today. First, this is Lee Sonius. Lee is the president of African Bible Colleges. Can we welcome him to the Grove this morning? And then I think all of you should know by now, Blessings Chibambo, our campus director in Malawi. Welcome him back. I was in Africa last week when he preached. He did a great job, didn't he? Yes, thank you. Reverend Blessings Chibambo. Okay, he is. Okay, Lee, first of all, we're excited about this STEM school, and we love that this is going to be a ministry, an important ministry of ABC. But first, you're new in your role. You're coming up to the 1 year mark. Tell everyone about your background in Africa, because I love your rich background serving with your wife in Africa for so many years.
Thank you very much.
I don't think that's on.
Thank you very much. It's hard to believe that a week ago today, we were in Liberia together. We saw each other last Sunday.
So Lee and I were together in Liberia, graduation last week.
With our wives.
Yeah.
So I was born in West Africa in the country of Sierra Leone to missionary parents. And then when I was 9 years old, they moved to Liberia just a year before the Chinchen family arrived in Liberia. So I've known Palmer, and I grew up together in Liberia. I'm a little bit older than him, but we went to the same high school. We graduated in the American Cooperative School there. But then my wife and I have been missionaries in Africa, serving in 3 different countries, in Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. And now, over the last year, I've been in the role as president of African Bible Colleges.
Well, Lee, we love your leadership. The colleges are thriving now. Thank you for you and Michelle's commitment to it. Well, blessings, we're talking about this STEM school today. And 2 years ago, we took an offering to help build this school. And then the college empowered you, asked you to be our representative in Malawi to get ready to build it. What has happened since we started this project 2 years ago?
First of all, thank you for the offering that was taken here from the Grove the last 2 years. We haven't just been sitting because we've been working on designs of the STEM school. And some of you, I think, have seen that outside, and then we've been projecting that.
Yeah, we have elevations and floor plans and everything now, yeah.
And then we also had to present that to the city of Lilongwe, and thank God the designs and the plans have been approved.
Okay. That's not easy, yeah.
It's a process, but I'm also excited to let you know that as of last June, actually it's this year that we broke ground, meaning that we haven't just been sitting, we have been working.
Okay, June, when our team was there, we had an exciting groundbreaking ceremony. Okay, Lee, as you know, we're in the college business, African Bible colleges. Why is a STEM high school going to be so important for African Bible College and then for Africa?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that I heard an interview just recently on the BBC about Africa, and this guy made a statement that was a very bold statement, and at first I had to think, is this really true? But he said the key to all the problems in Africa, all the problems, is education. And I thought, wow.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if the key to all the problems is education, then how much more a biblically based education? So the STEM school, we want to use as the STEM high school, we want to use as a feeder school for African Bible College in Malawi. It's on the same campus, but education is a key in Africa at any level, starting from elementary age all the way up through college and even postgraduate. So education is really a key.
And for African Bible College, we're now starting an IT computer science major.
Right. So the STEM school can also feed people into the new IT degree that we are starting on all 3 campuses in Africa.
Love it, Lee. And then blessings, you know, you're obviously are Malawian. Why is this STEM school? This is the first STEM school in the country of Malawi, the first Christian STEM school that we know of on the continent of Africa. Why is this so important, do you feel? What are people saying about it?
I think it's very important because actually it is projected that by 2050, about a quarter of African youthful generation will be able to contribute to the global labor force. So when you're doing this, you're not doing it just for today. You are investing in people, in children for tomorrow. That all of us can look at the global scale and say we are one because we all share the same skills. Because for now we are behind as Malawi. When you're looking at science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And that's what we want, that we can also compete on the global scale. But also you'll be giving a future to the actual Malawians.
It is. It's giving a future to young men to help them be global. And then women, like I've said 2 weeks ago, we want to create our first generation of girl coders, women who are creating code and becoming engineers. Lee.
Can I just say one last thing? I want to thank everybody that has given in the past to the STEM school and those of you that will give today. And I also want to invite anybody that wants to come to Malawi or any of our other 2 campuses. Come, we have work for you to do, short-term, long-term. Please, continue to give, continue to pray, but we need people to come. We need you in Africa to help us out. Thank you.
Yeah, and blessings, and Lee will be out in the courtyard afterwards. We just got back from Liberia. I landed on Wednesday. And over, the people in Liberia are pleading, please send more people from America to teach, to serve. We need more here. Okay, so would you take this card out in your hand? Would you hold that for just 1 minute, hold on to it. And our goal today this month is $100,000. And we'd ask if you could give that between now and the end of the year. And so would you pray about we're going to ask you to turn this in at the end of this service, even over the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Would you pray about what God has put on your heart? What can you and your family do to make this life-changing, life-giving school a reality in Malawi, East Africa? This project was started by my identical twin brother, Paul. This was Paul's final passion project. You know, he built 2 universities there with my father. He built an academy. He built a hospital. He built an audiology department. He's done a lot, but this is the one that was on his heart when he passed away suddenly 2 years ago. And so we are naming the STEM school after him, the Dr. Palmer Chinchen STEM School. And he made a short video just before he left Earth for Heaven. Would you hear his heart on this STEM school? We have it on a video right now. Let's hit play.
In Africa, if you were to take a classroom of 1,000 first graders, only 1 out of 1,000 first graders would ever go to university. So the question is, what are we doing as a mission organization? What are we doing as a Christian community to prepare young people to attend university?
You know, there is a problem. The problem is that there is lack of preparation for most of our students to go into STEM careers.
I've lived and worked in Africa for a long time. I've done projects in Liberia, in Malawi, and in Uganda, and I can truly say this is probably the most needed and the most exciting project that I've been a part of. People always ask the question, what's going to change Africa long term? What's going to make the biggest difference in the countries in Africa? And that starts with a great education. We've been doing this for a long time at African Bible colleges. We give a great university level education at our campus in Liberia, at our campus in Uganda, at our campus in Malawi. But what Africa really lacks and needs are the high schools to prepare kids for a great university education, especially in the areas of STEM. And that's a project that we're working on now. The first Christian STEM high school in the entire continent of Africa.
This project will help to bridge that gap, the gap of preparation, because it will prepare a lot of students, Malawi students, who can become great innovators, who can become great creators.
And we're not just creating a high school where only wealthy people can send their children. We want even children from rural areas that normally would never have a chance to attend university to come to ABC STEM High School, prepare them for university. I've seen the future that they can have no matter what a difficult, hard start they have, no matter how rural their village is. When they get the right education, I've seen how it changes their life, changes their family, changes their whole community. I've seen this time and time and time again. But let me just say, what's needed now more than anything is to prepare the young people in Africa for a good university education. That's what the ABC STEM High School is about, the opportunity to study the sciences, technology, computers, engineering, math. That's the kind of thing no other school is offering in Africa.
This STEM high school will breed a new generation or impact a next generation of innovators, Christian innovators from Malawi who will impact the world. Therefore, let us all support this project because its impact is far more fetching than you and me can ever think.
So I would love for you to be a part of this. I'd like to invite you to consider what can you do today. This isn't a gift that is going to help one child go to school. This is a gift that's going to help hundreds of kids go to high school every year. When we build this new high school, we're talking about building the first set of buildings, getting the school up and running. So your gift that you give now is not just helping 1 or 2 kids. This is helping hundreds of kids every year for the next 20, 30 years.
Would you stand and let's welcome our friends, ABC College graduates. And if you've ever been to Malawi on one of our trips, you may have met some of them, and you definitely know this song. So you gotta sing it with us. Sing it loud. Yesu sazapezeka so. There's no one like him. Come on, sing it out. Felipe ufana ni Yesu. Felipe ufana na Felipe ufana ni Yesu. Sazapezeka so.
All right, I don't know if all of you heard that all of these are graduates of African Bible College. They're now going to seminary at Grand Canyon University. Can we thank all of our ABC graduates? Thank you, that was amazing. You didn't know that when you woke up this morning and came to the Grove, you were gonna sing in Chichewa, did you? But you've done something you've never done before. All right, we're wrapping up our series in Jonah today. We've been going through the book of Jonah during our Serve the World month. We've titled it Jonah, the Reluctant Missionary, and we're seeing how God can use everyone in some way. Today, I want to talk about this, that Thanksgiving, so it just happens to be Thanksgiving week, is something that you do. You know, when we think about Jonah, we only think about him as an ingrate, right? It seems like that guy's complaining about everything. But do you know, buried in this short book is a prayer that Jonah prays. And many theologians and many Bible scholars call it a psalm of thanksgiving. And you didn't even know it was there. So I want to start by reading this psalm of thanksgiving. And the interesting thing is that Jonah prays this prayer even when he's in the pit, even when he's literally in the pit of a whale's stomach. He prays this psalm of thanksgiving. So look at your Bibles with me, or it'll be on the screen. I'm just going to start with verse 9, and then we're going to pick up in verse 4. He says, I, Jonah, with a voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will pay. Salvation belongs to God. So Jonah is in the belly of a whale, but he's thanking God for saving his life. Now, as we keep reading in Jonah, his thanksgiving, his attitude, his spirit of thanksgiving is very short-lived. Because what happens? Because the people repent. He ends up sitting in the hot sun outside of Nineveh. The sun is beating his head. Why? Because a worm has eaten a hole in the tree that he's sitting under. And we're going to call it the worm of ingratitude. The worm of ingratitude gets Jonah. So let's pick up our story there. I'm going to look. So turn Jonah chapter 4, verse 6. Then the Lord God provided a vine to ease Jonah's discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about the vine. But at dawn the next day, God provided a worm. And like we said, I'm going to name it the worm of ingratitude, which chewed the vine so that it withered. Verse 8, when the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that he grew faint. He wanted to die and said, it would be better for me to die than to live. But God said, do you have a right to be angry about the vine? You have been concerned about this vine, though you did not tend it, you did not plant it, you did not make it grow. It sprang up overnight and it died overnight. Verse 11, and then God says, should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, which has more than 120,000 people living in spiritual darkness? Should I not feel sorry for such a great city? So this worm has wormed its way, no pun intended, into Jonah's life. And this worm comes in, and don't worms of ingratitude find their way into our lives slowly? And then think about it. They spread like a tapeworm on the inside, and it multiplies, and it starts to poison all of your life. And that's where Jonah is, and we see all of this ingratitude come out. I think this morning, I want you to look at life like this. Life pivots on one of two ways to spend your day and to spend your life. You can either wake up and start your day cranky and ungrateful for everything, or you can wake up and find gratitude in everything. But I think there's a lot of people like Jonah who have the worm of ingratitude that's spreading in their life, and they wake up and the first thing they're thinking about is all their miserable coworkers. And they're thinking about all the complaints they have about their lazy, unproductive coworkers. Or they wake up and they criticize their spouse, or they criticize their kids. You can choose to just focus on the problems in life, can't you? And live with this bitter ingratitude in everything. I want to ask you this morning, I think all of us have this kind of person in our life, don't we? This person that every time you see them, they've got a list of things to complain about. It could be minor health problems, or they're complaining about a neighbor, or they're complaining about a family member. You know, everybody has that person in their life, don't they? And if you're thinking right now, I don't have anyone like that in my life, I can't think of anyone like that, then maybe ask yourself, are you that person? You know, maybe it's you, because they're out there. And here's the thing, you can either start each day with gratitude, the Bible calls it, or the Bible calls it grumbling. You can either choose gratitude or grumbling. So today I want to talk about this. How do we live a life of gratitude? How do we live a truly thankful life? And I want to start with this simple thought. Count your blessings. You know, are you truly giving thanks for the blessings in your life? I think few of us pause to say, God, thank you for the many blessings that are in my life. There's an executive coach and a leadership trainer by the name of Marshall Goldsmith, and he writes about gratitude. And he says that he's flown and doing seminars and training all over the country and the world. He's flown, listen to this, more than 11 million miles on American Airlines. That's more than gold status. He said he's flown more than 1 million miles on British Airways. And he says he's noticed in airports and on airplanes, there's one thing that always sets people off. That sets everyone when a flight is delayed. When a flight is delayed, it seems like that gives a license to everyone to snap and lose their temper and choose somebody out. He said, but he's promised himself that he, in 11 million miles on American Airlines, that he will never complain about a late flight. And he says, because what I do when my flight is delayed, I have a picture hanging in my office wall, he says. And he says, so I picture that picture. And it's a picture of me with a tape measure in my hand. When I was 30 years old, he says, Michael says, that he had gone to East Africa to serve with the Red Cross. And it was during a severe famine. And they gave him the job of measuring children's arms. If the children's arm were kind of chunky and healthy, they would say, that child doesn't need food. They're going to be fine because we just have a little bit of food to share. If the child's arm was too skinny, like just to the bones, they would say, we don't have enough food to feed them because they're going to die anyway. So with his tape measure, he had to give measurements to the staff, and they would decide who ate and who did not eat. He said, so when I have a flight that's delayed, he said, I repeat the same mantra to myself. He said, and here's how he says it. He says, I will never complain about a flight being late because there are people in this world with real desperate problems who are much worse off than me. I need to be grateful for what I have. And so he doesn't complain. And I think all of us here have far more in life, if we were to pause and think about it, to be grateful for than we do. So my challenge to you is start making gratitude a habit, a daily habit, to live full of gratitude. Jonah, he gives thanks, like I said, in the middle of his hard times. I want to pick up in chapter 2, where we were a minute ago. In verse 2, he says, I called out to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol I cried. In other words, out of the pit of life, and you heard my voice. So in the midst of the worst thing, when Jonah thinks he's going to die, he cries out in gratitude. And he doesn't wait till he's free and clear to say, thank you, God. He starts thanking him in the pit. So maybe today you're going through something difficult, something hard. I want to challenge you that in spite of whatever hard or whatever pain you're going through right now, I want to challenge you to find the things to be grateful for. Count your blessings. Count your blessings wherever you. Here's how the Apostle Paul says it. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ. So my challenge to you is to start living with this mantra that I am blessed. We can often focus on the worms, can't we, and forget about the whales that God sent to save us. You know, and that's the story of Jonah. He quickly forgets about the whale that saved him and just complains about the worms. I think a lot of us are like that. My challenge to you is to start practicing deep gratitude. To pause each day and say, God, thank you for what you've put in my life. Do you know that grateful people, first of all, are less envious of others? Grateful people, they say, are more content. Grateful people tend to share more because they realize they don't need so much. The Bible continually calls us to live this way. Here's how Paul says it again in Colossians chapter 3. Sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs to God with thankful hearts. And whatever you do or say, do it as a representative of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks through him to God the Father. I think that gratitude has a way of lifting our eyes off of our own needs and putting them on God. And that's what Paul is calling us to do here. The same with Jonah. Jonah, in the middle of bad things, the worst things, is putting his eyes on God and thanking God and giving God the credit for the good things that are happening in his life. I want to go back to chapter 2, verse 9 one more time. Jonah says, I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed. I will pay, salvation belongs to the Lord. And so we see that gratitude is living every day acknowledging that this life is a gift. The small things that I have are a gift. I have a cousin named John, and John was always a risk taker. And John was a skydiver. He was literally banned from every airfield in the state of Mississippi because he opened his chute too late just to thrill the crowds. And so, but that's just the way John lived life. Well, one day he's in the back of a friend's pickup truck, and he dared him. He said, I bet you can't throw me out. And he's standing in the back of the pickup. And so his friend started swerving the pickup until he threw him out. And John landed on his head, my cousin John, and it almost killed him. After that, he was just grateful for life, he says. And so John started to take what he called life appreciation days. He would put on the calendar life appreciation day. He would take it off work, take it off every responsibility he had, just to appreciate life. Sometimes he'd take 2 or 3 of those days a year, maybe more than that, because he said he was just grateful for life now. And I think a lot of us go through life kind of like Jonah, complaining about things rather than being grateful. They say that people who make gratitude a habit end up with a low threshold for gratitude. Think about that. They become grateful for the smallest things in life when you start living a life of gratitude. I want to make a connection this morning that maybe you've never made before, is that gratitude leads to joy and happiness. You know, a lot of people think that having more things or having certain titles or positions is what will make you happy. Researchers are finding now that gratitude leads to satisfaction and happiness in life. In fact, Dr. Robert Emmons, who's a professor of psychology at UC Davis, is considered the world's leading expert on the science of gratitude. I didn't even know there's a science of gratitude, but that's a great title. The world's leading expert on the science of gratitude. And he says this, he says, gratitude increases happiness and reduces depression. Isn't that good? He says, if you want to be happy, this is his conclusion of everything. If you want to be happy, he says, be grateful. So he makes a direct connection between gratitude and happiness. I think sometimes people, some of us in the room, have everything we could possibly want in life. Maybe you know people like they have everything they could want in life, and they're still unhappy. And then there are some people that it seems like they have almost nothing in life, but they are very happy. And I think one of the big differences is that they are grateful. It's a gratitude that makes us happy. And so let's go back to Jonah and the plant, because here's what we see is that ungrateful people focus on what they don't have. This is Jonah chapter 4, verse 8. So let's go back in the text we were in earlier. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that he grew faint. He wanted to die and said, it would be better for me to die than to live. So Jonah, who didn't have this plant in his life just hours earlier, says, kill me if I can't have this plant. It's the strangest thing. Like I said, ungrateful people focus on what they don't have. There's a renowned theologian, maybe you've heard of him. His name is Conan O'Brien. And Conan O'Brien talks about how, speaking of airplanes, he's in an airplane one day, and he says that the flight takes off, and just after takeoff, the flight attendant gets on the intercom and says, hey, I want to apologize. I'm so sorry. Our Wi-Fi is not working today. And Conan was like, he says, my thought was like, geez, I didn't even know we had the option for Wi-Fi on this flight. He says, but the guy in the plane next to him lost his mind. He was like, this is the worst airline ever. I'm never flying again. And he said, I need a refund on my ticket. And he's calling the flight attendants over, and he's just making a scene. And Conan O'Brien says, here's something the guy didn't even know existed 30 seconds ago. And now he's losing it because he doesn't have it. Do you see what I mean? That ungrateful people focus on what they don't have. The great secret, like I said, to happiness is to have gratitude. And I'll say one last thing before we move on. When I say count your blessings, I want to challenge you to start practicing gratitude. I want to challenge you to start practicing it every morning. Gratitude, we hear gratitude is an attitude, right? People say it's on bumper stickers, things like that. No, gratitude is something that you have to practice to get good at. You have to start remembering to thank God even for the small things. And so I want to challenge you to start your days with gratitude. The Jewish people have been doing this for centuries. I don't know if you know this, but they have a practice called Amidah. And Amidah means 18 prayers. So the Hebrew people, when they wake up in the morning, they stand, they don't pray this sitting down, and they face Jerusalem, and they pray 18 blessings. They thank God for 18 things. They call them words of blessings, words of gratitude, and they pray for 18 things that they are grateful for in the day. How do you think that would change your day? If you got up in the morning, you stood up, you can't sit down, and you faced, I don't know, maybe the Grove, I don't know, faced somewhere, and you prayed 18 blessings over your life, and thank God for 18 blessings that he's given you. Think about it. The most simple things we take for granted. What if you woke up in the morning and said, God, man, I don't thank you enough for this house. I'm so blessed to have this house. Or God, thank you for my wife who's asleep next to me, or my kids in the other room. God, thank you. They're such a blessing. Life would be so empty without them. Or what if you said, God, thank you, for my coworkers. I've got one coworker that brings me cinnamon sugar bagels from Einstein's once in a while. I'm really grateful for that. This is true. I'm really grateful for that coworker. What if you, instead of, prayers of complaint, God, thank you for my neighbors. I've got like 4 sets of neighbors that all come to the Grove. I'm very blessed to have the neighbors that I have in my life. What if you just pause? God, thank you for my car. You thought we take our cars for granted, but I was just in Liberia. Almost nobody has a car. Everybody walks everywhere. The people we're asking again, could you bring shoes? Please tell everyone at the Grove we need their shoes. Have another Barefoot Sunday. They're telling me this. Are you grateful for your shoes? I said, are you grateful for your neighbors? I was talking to someone last week who said they have a friend who gave their neighbor their kidney. I love my neighbors. I'll take out their garbage. I don't know if I'm gonna give them a kidney. But anyway, some neighbors do that. But I would challenge you to pause and count your blessings and thank God for even the smallest things that he gives you in your life. So I said, this Thanksgiving, as we conclude Jonah, count your blessings. Now I want to say this next, just a second thing today, and this is it. Share your blessings. We titled today, Thanksgiving is something you do. I think giving thanks takes action. It means actually doing something. Would you share your blessings? Sometimes we think we don't have enough and we don't have enough to share. I think you have more than you think. Lee Sonius was right here, and we were in Liberia together last week, and we were driving from the capital city 200 miles up to our college up in the mountains, and we stopped to visit a friend of mine's school in a town called Ganta. Ganta is a dusty, dirty crossroads of a town. And it made me think about the last time I was in Ganta was with a team from the Grove. And we had gone there on a Sunday, and I'd sent your people from the Grove to about 5 or 6 different churches. There's like 20, 25 of us. And so I sent groups to worship in 5 different Ganta churches. And it was amazing. But I told them, you've got to be back here where we're at our meeting place by 12:30. We've got a long drive to Buchanan ahead of us. So I said, the service, they start at 10, but it could go to 2 o'clock. At 12:30, you've got to leave. And so at 12:30, our people start coming to the gathering. We're just about to leave. And then I see a guy on the back of a motorbike. They're called ping-pings. They're taxis. And he's waving for me to stop because we're pulling out. And he comes up to my window. He's out of breath. And he says, your team from the Grove, they worshiped with us today. And we know that they're traveling and you may not have brought food with you. And so we took an offering for your people from the Grove, and he hands me in a small paper bag a wad of cash that they had collected to bless our people. These are people, most of them would live in mud-walled houses with dirt floors, and they took an offering for us. Do you see what it means to share your blessing? You might think, I don't have enough to share, and I want to change your mind on that. You have more than you think. So share your blessings. In Genesis chapter 12, verse 2, God is blessing Abraham, and he makes one of the most powerful statements in the whole Bible. He says, I will make you into a great nation. And then God says this, I will bless you, and I will make your name great so that you can be a blessing. You see what God is saying? God is saying in Genesis 12, he's saying, I am blessing you so that you can be a blessing to someone else. And so can I just say to you, don't just count your blessings, but my invitation today is to share your blessings. Turn your blessing into a blessing for someone else. That's why I said Thanksgiving is something you do. Gratitude takes action. And Jonah 3:3, and this is the last text we'll read today from Jonah. We read this, so Jonah obeyed and went to Nineveh. Now, Nineveh was a very large city, so large that it would take 3 days to walk through it. And Jonah began by going a day's journey into the city, proclaiming 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown. The Ninevites believed God. So what does Jonah do in our text that's so life-giving? Jonah walks through the city, by foot, walking through the city. And he's not sharing a curse. Sometimes we think that warning of the city is going to be is a curse. No, it's a blessing because he's saying if you turn to God, he's going to save you. It's a blessing. So he walks, we read, for 40 days through the city, sharing a blessing. So we are going to ask you today to share your blessings in 2 ways, all right? 2 ways. So don't miss this today. Today, we're going to ask you if you would take a Thanksgiving box and filled with food and a turkey, enough for a big family for Thanksgiving dinner. And we want to ask if you will join us in downtown Chandler and share a blessing. Walk up to someone's home. We're going to give you addresses, and you walk up and you knock. If you've never done this before, it's a little intimidating at first. But then you realize, I'm the blessed one. I'm the blessed one because I get to share. But we want to ask you to walk, literally today, walk the streets of our city like Jonah and share a blessing. And your blessing you're sharing is simple, is that you are loved and you are mattered. It's been on our t-shirts all month. You matter, and you are loved by us, loved by God. Share a blessing. Many of the homes that we're going to walk into today, there are a lot of people there that don't speak English. They just speak Spanish. And I don't speak much Spanish at all, but I've learned one phrase a long time ago. And so when I go downtown Chandler on Thanksgiving week, I say the same thing. Dios le bendiga. It just means here's a blessing from God. May God's blessing, Dios le bendiga. May God's blessing be on you and on your home. When you share this today, and I hope all of you in this room will come back at 12 o'clock and go with us, you share a blessing. So that's the first challenge. Would you share that blessing today? The second is this. Will you help us build this STEM school in Africa? Maybe you have a degree in computer science. Maybe you're sitting here today and you are an engineer. Or maybe you have a degree in medicine. And God has uniquely not just equipped you, but God has blessed your family through your career. You got a degree in engineering or mathematics or science or technology, and now you have a job, and now you have an income, and you're able to pay for your house, you're able to buy food for your family, you're able to buy a car. Now I want to ask if you would share that blessing. When I say we need $100,000 to start construction on this STEM school, it feels big. $100,000 for the Grove, that's a lot of money. And so we can't do it. We can't write that check for you. But I think if all of us here pool our resources, we can. And I don't say this light when I say I believe this one school can change a nation. I've seen the ways that African Bible colleges, one college is changing nations. I see that this one school will change a nation. And so everyone, during this song, would you take this card out, take it in your hand, and would you fill it out? Put your name. You don't have to put any other information other than what you will give today and what you will do to share your blessing. Will we do that? While you do this, there's pens on the chairs. Just stay in your seats. We've asked Andrea if she would share this song with you. May this song be a blessing over you.
So many questions, will anybody stay? It's been a hard year, so many nights in tears, all of the darkness, trying to find my fears. Alone, so long. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you would probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go, so keep me held in your head. I've started breathing, the weight is lifted. Here with you it's easy, my head is finally clear. There's nothing missing when you are by my side. I took the long road, but now I realize I'm home with you. I'm home. don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. You're my safe place, my hideaway. You're my anchor, my saving grace. You're my constant, my steady days. You're my shelter, my oxygen. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. Thank God I do. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you ever let go. So keep me held in your hands. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. Thank God I do.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you for being here today. I've been to 40 plus countries. I've taken over 100 mission trips. I've brought over 1,000 of you overseas with me. I've never seen anything like the African Bible College. I've never seen anything what this STEM school could be. I'm telling you, this is one of the most powerful things I've ever seen in all of my travels. And so I would encourage you to join us, to be a part of this. This is not life-changing. This is generation-changing. So please pray about this. Fill it out. Put it in one of the buckets around the stage. There's also buckets at every single entrance. And then go to Malawi with me. We've got a meeting coming up December 8th. Come be a part of this.
Yeah, like Paul said, we have giving buckets and boxes, but buckets by each door. Please leave your card as you go. Share a blessing like we talked about. Share your blessing. God has blessed you so that you can bless. We love you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. We love your families. God bless you.